What's up, family? Y'all don't know me, and I don't know y'all. And to be honest, the title of this video, uh, is gonna make it sound like a super deep video. And in some ways it is, some ways it isn't. And if it doesn't look like I'm looking directly at y'all, it's because I'm recording off my phone, and the camera's at the top, and I'm looking at my myself in the screen, making sure everything's good. So right now, channel don't have a name. I don't have a name. That's it. But when I make a name, I do. So the title of this video is going to be called "How Manga Has Changed My Life." Now, before anybody says anything, well, this isn't what I want to say first, but I will say this first. What made me make this video? What made me make this video was seeing the Corey Kenshin apology video. If y'all haven't watched it, I do recommend y'all go watch it and watch it fully. He didn't pay me or anything to say that. I got heavily inspired. Something about that video made me um respect him, but just respect the art of being yourself and building a community that feels safe to also be themselves. Um, and I've kind of been procrastinating on this anyway because I was gonna go like a trash taste route where it's like I make podcast like videos, basically just hour long gap sessions about a manga that I've recently read or an anime that I watched and put you guys on, talk about my favorite anime or my favorite scenes from that anime. Well, try not to spoil it or anything, but instead, I think I just really want to nerd out and geek out with y'all. Now, people may be asking, what do you mean how manga has changed your life? Manga? A thing that has pictures, an adult picture book, basically. Stop. Don't do that. It's not an adult picture book. It's bigger than that, okay? Um, and in a way, it's weird. And you know, I couldn't necessarily, I would say changed my life is I wouldn't say a stretch, but it's a bold claim. I guess the more how it's made me happier, how it's resonated with me a lot. And a lot of that has to do with the stories, and not only just the stories. My fault, I got something in my mouth. I ate some beef jerky not too long ago. A lot of it has to do with the stories, but also a lot of the passion that goes behind the art and the storytelling. I think it's such a it inspires me a lot because it's such a unique concept, and I get it's like, well, comic books do the same. I'm not gonna lie to y'all, I can't really read comic books like that. The black and white art style of manga has forever changed my view of colored comic books. Uh, that's the same reason why I can't read manhwa unless it's old school manhwa that was like black and white, right? But manga has heavily inspired me. Now, this inspiration can just come from, you know, as a kid, I always liked to draw and I like to write. I never could draw, still can't draw. I can write. I'm not gonna say I'm the best writer, but manga has always been like such a inspiration for me. Manga has always been something that I deeply enjoyed. And recently, I maybe the last like month or two is when I started taking manga seriously. Like I'm finishing up series. I'm filling up my bookshelves full of manga. I'll put a picture right here, which is it's a recent picture, but there are some mangas missing out because I haven't put them in my second bookshelf. Some of them because some of them can't fit in the second bookshelf, and y'all can't really see the second bookshelf because it's hidden by the mini fridge in my room. But still, it's just an inspiration. It's an inspiration that I have had for the longest since my teens. I'm 21 years old, and it's an inspiration I've had since my teens to one make my own manga. Like I said, I can't draw for shit, but I can write some shit and maybe have someone draw for me or just learn how to draw. Which eventually I'm going to learn how to draw. For, let's not say eventually. I am going to learn how. My fault. But I eventually I am gonna learn how to draw. But I want this. I'm not gonna lie, I do know myself. I'm gonna procrastinate on this video. I'm gonna procrastinate if I should drop, if I shouldn't, if what I'm saying is making sense, if what I'm saying is a connected thought process, a thorough, concise, very well, well put together thought process. And in turn it's not, because there's so much, and I don't want to put so much in a, in a in a video that I don't intend to make long, but there's so many reasons how manga has, changed my life. It's so many. It may sound childish, and I'm going to just say it, and I don't really care. Sometimes I'm in my head, I'm like, bro, would my favorite anime character like fuck with how I'm like, if my favorite anime character was real, or if the personality of my anime character was in a real person, would that motherfucker fuck with me? Like, I fuck with these characters, I fuck with this person, but they fuck with me. And like, yeah, you can say that's building a parasocial relationship, but obviously I don't have it to where it gets to like so out of hand. Like, I don't be shipping characters and shit. I don't. Oh my gosh, like, oh my gosh, what if Kafka Kun from Kaiju number 8 was just real? Oh my god. Like, I don't do anything. It's just a very and my first tattoo is I want Kafka when he turns the Kaiju number 8. I want him, tatted his the face tatted on me. Right, but and we'll get into that later. I'll probably make a whole separate video about me just geeking over Kaiju number 8, but it has done so much more for me than I feel like real life connections. And before, people try to make jokes and be like, "Oh, it's probably because you're a fucking neat or you're a hermit, nigga. You don't get out, you don't do anything, you don't da da da." No, it's not because I have trouble making friends or I have trouble socializing or anything like that. It's just that, one, I stay to myself. I'm like an introvert to the core, but also two, like, I like being to myself. I hate. I don't hate. I don't hate, but like having like I don't know. I don't know how to put it right now because when I'm hearing other stuff in the background, so I can't really actually. I don't hate having personal relationships. I just always like worry about them. Like, oh, I gotta. Um, I don't know. Like, I always worry about them because I'm like, what if, this person doesn't, really see me for who I am, or what if I'm misunderstood? There's a lot of personal things that get to that. But like I said again, it's not because I have trouble making friends or anything like that. I'm just personally introverted myself. I'm just an introvert. I'm introverted mainly by choice. Well, I say by choice, but I'll be honest with y'all. Like, I do not like being at the house longer than I need to be. Like, if I'm going to the grocery store, I'm picking up some groceries. I'm going to the grocery store, picking them up, and come back home. I'm not trying to stay out for 3, 4, 5, 6+ hours. Okay, but it has changed my life because it's also like manga itself, more than like books that I've read in school or actual literature that I've read that's not manga, that's nonfiction, or even fiction that just sprinkles heavy, and I mean really heavy real life instances, has like even made me like question, like, I know I said I was gonna get on it later, but like Kaiju number 8, in my opinion, Kaiju number 8, when it comes down to Kafka's personality, to me, he has a very dope personality, a great personality, and I feel like there are some things you could learn from this person, even from Reno. Reno himself, like, yes, it's, don't get me wrong, is a very anime. Oh my gosh, let me get stronger just for you. Yes, it's very anime, but I feel like there are things as people that feeling alone we can resonate with. There's, if it's not for another person, there's a reason why we want to get better at something or do something more. And Kaiju number 8 to me, like top 5 new gen. Even though, well, technically it was made like 5 years ago, but but no, whatever your timeline of what you consider new gen is, um, but like I think like for example, the fragrant flower that blooms dignity, the way like yes it's very like I said anime, very very kind of childish, like oh like people find this guy who was obviously not unattractive, but he is considered scary looking because he's different, blonde hair and two piercings. I mean, and there's probably more to it. I haven't finished the Fragrant Flower That Blooms Dignity, the manga. I'm trying to recap with some of the anime, but I feel like the anime is a little bit pacing too fast. I don't know. Gotta reread the manga. Um, but even with the fragrant flower that blooms dignity, it even within myself, it made me question like, dang, my introvertness or how I project. Because if y'all don't know, like Rentaro was projecting onto oh my gosh, I can't remember her name, but her name's gonna be up here. He was projecting how other people treated him onto her, like, oh, I thought you weren't really gonna fuck with me because these people didn't fuck with me for this reason. So in his eyes, it's like I'm looking at it to protect you, but in reality, I'm preventing you to get to actually know me because I'm worried about people's opinions on you. Yes, while his intention is coming from a caring place, it's like also you should let this person make an opinion of you because in the end, that's how relationships form. That's how a bond forms. You kind of open yourself up to this person despite what other people may think of you, good or bad, for this person to make their own opinion. And I face with that problem in my own personal life where like I don't view myself as I'm not gonna lie to y'all, I don't view myself as the best person. And I know for a fact I'm talking to zero people, but I do want to use this video as a video that's like it goes back to just where it all started. Where it all started. I'm not gonna sit here and give you guys this I'm the best guy ever. I wanna, I'm not gonna do that. I'm not gonna do that. But because of my own personal experiences, like that manga alone has made me kind of rethink like be a little bit more open, and be a little less judgmental. Don't get me wrong, we all judge as people, but and I'm using like very, recent, I guess, mangas, but like even if, I use older mangas or anything like that, like for example, Soul Eater. Right now I'm loving the character development. There is some weird things about Soul Eater, which I want to make a whole separate video on the things I find weird about Soul Eater, but why I still enjoy it. But y'all gonna see. I can't say too much because this is a more deep video. There's gonna be a second video that's probably gonna be like more so what the point of this channel is, but and what my goal is actually, besides making my own manga. But like with Soul Eater, I love Soul's character. I love his carefreeness, but also his, at least in the first volume, um, his carefreeness and the way how he views himself and how his mantra to him being like, oh, I'm supposed to be a cool guy, like I'm supposed to be, because in a way, like we all think of ourselves a certain way. And sometimes that way we think of ourselves, we try to fall into it. Like if you profusely think of yourself as a bad person, and then other people around you do, sometimes that's what makes people villains. It's like, well, if everybody else thinks I'm not shit, then I might as well not be not shit. And this is deeper than like what maybe anime or manga touches on, obviously. But it's the fact of him just being like, hey, I'm a cool guy, I'm a cool guy, I'm a cool guy. And he does these things because he's like, well, I act this way because of how I interpret what a cool guy does, but also my belief of what's going to make me a cool person, what's going to make me. And if you want to thought the child is cool, if you think that thinking him calling himself a cool guy is childish, a decent guy, a decent person, that shit right there to me, like I loved it. I loved it. And I know a lot of people probably do not look at manga this deep or do not look at manga because in my opinion I believe manga is literature. As much as people may hate that, I do believe genuinely manga is literature because I feel like you can learn shit from manga if people took manga a little bit serious. Now, do not get me wrong. Are there mangas out there that are totally just like ha ha for the laughs and giggles? Of course. But even though there's like my favorite, one of my favorite mangas, it's actually my top five, Hell's Paradise. I love Hell's Paradise. I love the series. I love everything about it. One thing in Hell's Paradise was the first manga, like series, first manga that I finished from volume one all the way up to the last volume fully. So that's why when the anime dropped, I'm ready. I'm super excited for season two because I'm ready for what people who probably never read the manga to see. I'm ready for the finale, bro. I'm ready for the final season because the last arc was like my favorite. Anyways, and I gotta reread that shit. I gotta reread it because, like I said, favorite manga of all fucking time. Um, but Hell's Paradise was my first ever manga that, like I said, that I finished. But what made it my favorite manga was, in a way, I could see myself in a lot of those characters. The doubt, the expectations that people above you put on you, or people think, oh, you can't do this because of this, or you should be able to do this because of this or that. Like, it is more than just a good ass seinen with, you know, kick ass action and all this. It can teach you so much, and I feel like shit like that is what I consider literature. Something that when you close that book, it makes you want to read it again to just discover and go deeper into it. And a lot of manga, in my opinion, is like that. And in turn, going back, spinning it back around, manga has changed my life. Manga has inspired me a lot. If it were not for, I'm not going to say 100% if it was not from, I was going to say some crazy shit at first, but I thought about it before I said it. I'm not going to say 100% manga has changed me as a person. But I will say a good bit of percent, maybe 85. I'll give it like 85. Besides like my upbringing and teaching and everything, but 85. Manga for majority of my life has made me so much of a different person. Like I said, besides personal relationships and personal experiences and everything like that. So, and I feel like books, you know, when people read like the 48 Laws of Power or whatever, and they be like, man, this book right here has really, now I get it's very red pill shit. They try to feed you shit, but like for people who like this shit really changed my way. Like for example, the psychology of money did change my way of how money, like when I don't remember the page exactly. I know this is about manga, so I'm gonna stay on this for a short time. But when even though the study was a 2018 study or chart, when it said, one of the sentences said, most Americans or most people don't even have $400 in their savings, bro, that completely changed my view of savings, because it was like $400 obviously is nothing, you know, because of how high rent and shit is going up. But it's the fact that at this time in 2018, it was recorded that barely most of America, or barely whatever it said. I don't remember one, but most people didn't have $400. $400 is goes towards some bill for some people. It may not go to your full rent, but it goes towards some bill, and your bill most likely is more than 400, but it maybe covers half of it or whatever. When I read that shit kind of changed my view on money and how I spend it and how I save it and what I use it for and how smart I am with my money. But with that being said, a book like that, now imagine a book like that, right, is changing your thought process, it's changing the way you view life, it's changing the way you are as a person. Now you go to these things that are considered dorky, quirky, weird, ill. You go over to this fucking book that has black and white art, hella detailed because it don't really got color, and then these characters that physically, like, you can obviously tell that they're human, obviously, but like, no, what human do you know looks like these fucking anime characters? Um, besides like maybe some one in a million or whatever. And then you go here, you look at these things, and then you get hit with some crazy as like life changing shit. Like when Kafka said, I don't remember word for word, but when Kafka said, shout out Franz Kafka. I'm just let me stop. But when Kafka said he something along the lines of like his childish dream, like he needs to hold on to his childish dreams because like that's like all he has, or like he can't fail those. And obviously it's for a reason that I won't spoil because like I mean I don't really know if it's a spoiler, but for people who probably haven't read it, but he basically we're saying that like bro, I can't let go of these dreams no matter how childish they are, no matter how childish they may seem, because I made them one when I made these vows, these promises when I was a person, but I had these dreams and goals when I was a child. I gave up. Now I had a reason. Someone gave me a reason to continue completing these dreams. And now since I'm in it, now since I'm in the process of completing my soul challenge, I cannot afford to give it up. That's not what he said one for one, word for word, but that's what I got from it. I cannot give it up. That's in when you get hit with some shit like that, it's like damn. It's like damn. Because bro, how many of you guys, probably my age, older people, if y'all stumble upon this, how many of y'all gave up on y'all dreams because it was like, well, don't pay the bills? And to be honest, some things may never pay the bills. Like at some, you do got to be a realist, especially when you're living in the real world. But I think giving up on a dream because it doesn't pay the bills is an insane thing to do. I will tell you right now, when this video goes up, once I start this channel, the nerdiness, the love for manga, for anime will never disappear. I will never give up. I will never give up on trying to make my own anime. I will never give up on trying to make my own manga. I'll never give up on my other goals that I have that I said are going to be explained in my second video. I will never give up on those things. My eyes are going to water because I have an incident in here and this shit is fucking kicking my ass. Well, I don't, my grandma does, but it's kicking, the smoke is kicking my ass. This all goes to say, manga has changed my life. Manga has made me view personal relationships different. Manga has made me view myself as a person differently. It has made me change things about myself. It has made me more of a man of my word. And like I said, this may sound childish to the average motherfucker who doesn't do shit but go to the gym, go to work their ass off at a blue collar job, get paid above 50K. This may not sound like shit to y'all. This may not sound like shit to anybody. But what I want to prove is to the kids, to the men, to the women, to the adults, to the adult children, and I mean positively adult children. I don't mean adult children who are just bums leeching. Okay, I don't mean y'all niggas. I mean the ones who are still trying to get shit done, but like people view them as childish because their views, which may not be stupid views, but just very anime like views, I guess is what you would like to is what you would call it. That there is a place for us, that there is a place for people like that, and that you can very well be successful, and success is very subjective, but you can be successful with these things that are deemed or looked at as childish or doesn't matter. And by the way, before I end this video, I am definitely going to push the agenda that manga is literature, okay? That it is actual literature. So y'all better get used to hearing that a lot, okay? Especially you literature motherfuckers, because I tell you right now, I'll make a whole 100-page pinpoint PowerPoint on why I believe this shit is actually literature, okay? From the definition of literature to the technicality to everything. But yeah, so this first video is going to be like I said, a very serious one. I want to say, even though obviously you may never see this, but I want to say shout out to Corey Kenshin for making that apology video. Obviously, I get it wasn't for just me, like always just you. But I do believe if it was not for that video, I would have never had this spark or this change to be like, hey, I'm going to make basically a community based off of people who have love for manga and anime, of people who have a deep, like, sincere genuine positive connection and love to anime and manga. I love you guys, man. And I want y'all to continue chasing y'all dreams. I do not want any of y'all to um give up, no matter how old you are, or if you just now graduating, or if you're 21 and in my shoes, where you feel like life just, how can I make this fast money? How can I make this shit happen? Yeah, we gon' we make it work. But peace. I love you guys. Like, comment, share, and subscribe is always optional. I'm never going to beg for them. That if y'all genuinely like it, y'all genuinely like it. If y'all genuinely want to be a part of the community, y'all do. I gotta think of a name for y'all. And yeah, love y'all.